February 27th was the Pokémon Presents showcase for the 29th anniversary of Pokémon. And I've taken the time to process my thoughts, and I just want to say, I think that was the worst showcase Pokémon has ever done. I feel no differently about it since the live stream we did. That isn't hyperbole, that isn't content creators hating on things for views. Believe me, I wish I could just love things like so many other people here. I wish I could just turn my brain off and blindly love everything. But I was cursed with critical thinking skills. There is nothing nice about feeling a genuine need to call out Pokemon for continuing to not innovate. This is a business that makes an ungodly amount of money and has customers so secured and permanent, there's no reason to try new things or take risks. There's no reason to innovate at all. And at least, well, that's what it feels like their logic is. Pokemon is no longer a creative business. Welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, consider subscribing to this channel where we're posting new videos nearly every day. Allow me to set the stage. I've been a Pokemon fan since I was a child. I saw the first 3 films in theaters, and the last game that I played to completion was Legends Arceus. I streamed Scarlet and Violet on launch day, but didn't get further than about 5 hours in, which felt like a 5-hour tutorial. The graphics were so awful to look at, and the game was so choppy, I gave up and never picked it up again. I've played Pokemon Unite and Pokemon Go. I've got the TCG Pocket installed on my phone, but I sit here with you now and wish that the business showcase they just aired left me feeling something. I was a Sword and Shield apologist when it came out. I defended that game with all of its flaws, so I felt extremely betrayed on Scarlet and Violet with how awful that game ran. And I know there will be a handful of comments saying, play it now, it's patched. It's really not. The game is still ugly and awful to look at, and it doesn't hold up to Legends Arceus or even Sun and Moon. See, Pokemon is the kind of brand where people jump on the train but have never gotten off. I was brought into the Pokemon funnel as a child, and that was a long, long time ago, and I haven't left. I've purchased every mainline entry since Yellow, either in the form of my parents buying it or, well, I still use my mom's credit card. So you have a business model where people start buying but never really stop. And with every entry, more and more players are getting introduced. So take that and then compound it with the fact that the Nintendo Switch sold amazingly well and has crossed the streams of console players with handheld players. And that would explain why all the Pokemon games during the Switch's lifespan have sold as great as they have. You have people in their 40s down to 10-year-olds playing Pokemon right now today. The brand is recognizable worldwide, with Pikachu being, debatably, more recognizable than Mickey Mouse.
Pikachu, I choose you! Go! Pikachu!
And so Game Freak doesn't have to try. They don't have to work very hard, and they know that Legends ZA is going to sell at minimum about 20 million units, as long as they can deliver something similar to the Scarlet and Violet experience. And it would be at this point that I show the graphics in the Legends ZA game and say that yes, I think that Pokemon Colosseum had more creativity in its art style. I also think that the story in Pokemon Colosseum was more compelling than most of the mainline entries since. I think having teleport pads beam you up the buildings instead of Pokemon carrying you up is boring and conveniently lazy. I think the Neato Burrito combat mechanics everyone is glazing over were featured in Palworld already. And I think the idea of confining this game to just the city of Lumiose is boring. Kalos is rightfully big in Pokemon X and Y. Something that Legends Arceus got right was demonstrating the size and scale of the Sinnoh region. It's puzzling why they wouldn't want to do the same thing here, isn't it? Now, I know I can hear you already. Oh, the Switch can only handle so much. Oh, the processor power. Except Breath of the Wild can do it. Mario Kart looks good. Super Mario Odyssey looks good too. I don't understand what the excuse is here. I don't think anyone is looking for something that rivals Final Fantasy, but why can't Pokemon get out of PlayStation 2 graphics? And okay, what else is the company doing that isn't good? Because this video isn't just to dogpile on ZA. The emphasis on Pokemon as a brand expanding into these mobile games and having all of them dramatically succeed has only further proven that they don't need to focus as heavily on the mainline games anymore. The TCG Pocket game hit $100 million in sales in just the first 3 weeks, and nearly $500 million in under 100 days. That's a massive hit. Pokemon Go is worth $8 billion over its lifetime, and while much, much smaller in scale, Pokemon Unite is estimated to bring in close to $2 million a month. Of course, we haven't accounted for merchandise, which is a global powerhouse, or the actual trading card game, which is so massive that people resort to fights to get their hands on the newest releases. But what else was announced in the showcase? Surely there was something there that felt creative and new, like Pokémon Champions? No. That's not creative or new. This Champions game got no official gameplay, but looks like it's going to be the Pokémon Company's solution to Pokémon Showdown. Showdown is a free battle simulator that allows users to battle other players around the world for free, and it's entirely unaffiliated with Nintendo. And at the time of recording this, there were almost 20,000 active players on a random Friday afternoon. So the Pokemon Company actually checks a series of boxes by making this Champions game. One, they delegitimize the Showdown operation. Now that process is available officially. They incentivize usage of Pokemon Home and other games, as you can send your Pokemon from home into Champions. They make a singular platform for people that want to do battles, but still play in the native games like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. Now there's a place for everyone to go, and all of this leads into it's just for esports. This is a game to capitalize on the Pokemon sector of esports and streaming. That's what this is, and I can't quite say that's innovating. I can't quite call it creative. It's more like opportunistic. It's Nintendo having watched the user numbers on Pokemon Showdown and finally saying, "No, that's mine. I am the Senate." And I wouldn't be the first to say that Pokemon, and Nintendo for that matter, do lots of things with just the intention of capitalizing on the marketplace. In an interview with Pokemon CEO Tsunekazu Ishihara, he commented on the aspects of the trading card game. Quote, "When the secondhand market becomes more valuable because of rarity, that is problematic because our business is affected," he said, in response to many fans' suggestion to just print more cards. Ishihara makes it clear that, quote, "those items are seen to be valuable because they're rare or seen as vintage, and it's not our place to say they're not." The Pokemon Company knows exactly what they're doing. They know that the trading card game was supposed to be gambling for kids. Oh, sorry, no, it's not gambling. It's surprise mechanics. And they know that the markups in the secondhand market will contribute to lots and lots of people buying the products TPC puts on shelves. The intensity in the secondhand market leads to more discussion. More discussion leads to more sales. It's all intentional. And if it's all intentional there, then I have to believe that restricting access to old games is also intentional. We live in a time where Xbox and Sony, and even Nintendo for that matter, have worked in methods to their business plans to bring back classic games. It's a big selling point. It's part of the biggest reason to have subscriptions to any of these three. Xbox's entire philosophy right now is being backwards compatible. And I've said before, I would pay full retail price for each copy of the classic Game Boy games if they were ported to the Switch. Well, why do you want to do that? Because I hate holding the old systems. They're too small. Why don't you just use ROMs? Because Nintendo has been destroying all the access points to get them, so they're harder to get now, and picking up viruses and malware has become much more likely. The better question is, with the push for virtual consoles, why is Nintendo holding on to them? Is this a Nintendo thing or a Pokemon Company thing? Why not release them either on the virtual consoles or for sale? GameCube games too. Why is Fire Emblem $200 to $400 for the GameCube? Because of supply and demand. Low quantity, higher prices. It means they can keep their current games marked up because they're always going to be valuable. It's all business. And it's not creative business. It's not fun business. It's slimy corporate business. At one time, they took great risks, like during the GameCube era or even during the DS era. Everything after Gen 5 has just been safe. Just enough to get by with a new subtitle, but safe enough to guarantee sales. Why fix what ain't broken? But as a customer, it's boring. So I didn't play Palworld at all when it released. I didn't install it until recently, actually. and then I played the hell out of it. I pulled all-nighters on workdays because I was so keyed into this game. It took the concepts from other games and tried something new with them. And it's not perfect. It's not a perfect game in any way by any means, but it was new, it was exciting, and it had solid challenges. You felt compelled to figure out what was the best methods to keep improving, and that's seldom found in new Pokemon games. Pokemon games are so cut and dry. They're soulless. I mean, Legends Arceus was great. You can tell they were doing something there. But Sword and Shield, BDSP, Scarlet and Violet, all of the DLCs, they're just phoning it in. And they're phoning it in because the brand is all business all the time. As customers, we wait all year to get an announcement from this company because everyone wants more, because we care. And instead of something worth caring about, it's just a business presentation from corporate. Team Rocket's blasting off again.